All right, Facebook friends, acquaintances, buddies, everybody else in between. Welcome. I'm gonna give you guys a few more seconds to join in as we get started. And so today I wanted to make a video on a rather interesting topic that I don't usually talk about. Most of my videos have been business oriented and things like that, but today is a very much more personalized topic. And the topic is doing things now, doing things like living in the present, and at the same time being able to slow down your life so you're not missing the important moments in life. And that's not an easy thing to do. That's tricky, right? There are so many ways that we can get distracted. There are so many ways that we just forget to live life, and we get too bogged down on all the different types of details and mundane day-to-day activities of life. And what ends up happening is that we become essentially desensitized to a lot of things that we once enjoyed, right? And this is a big problem, and technology makes this problem much worse because it's so much easier to disengage yourself. And I think in general, human beings are we're communal creatures, right? We're called to community, but unfortunately we tend to isolate, and isolation has become a much bigger problem because of technology. And there are some pretty drastic effects of that. I think that it's becoming very easy to have tons of very shallow relationships and interactions, and it's becoming very difficult to form meaningful relationships with people. And so I'm gonna teach you guys, well, not teach you, but share with you a few things that I've done to get things done quicker and act immediately and execute things fast and today. And 2, I'm going to be sharing with you guys what happened, or what things and measures that I took to make sure that I slow down every single second of my life, so I'm not missing out on important aspects of life that are meaningful to me. The first thing that I'm going to talk about is obviously how to act quickly. And there's a general rule of thumb. The best time to do anything is basically right now. And there's a very famous quote. The best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. The second best time to plant a tree is right now. So as a general rule of thumb, when you're thinking about doing something, just think about it this way. It's either going to happen right now, it's going to happen today, it's going to happen tomorrow, it's going to happen next week, it's going to happen in 2 weeks, or else it's just not going to happen. On average, I think that most things that you think about doing, you got to do it within a 2-week frame, 2-week period. If you don't get started on it within the 2-week period, chances are you're not going to get to this thing anytime soon. So my recommendation is, if you think about doing something, just go ahead and do it. If it's taking that vacation, go ahead and take it. Plan it. If it means starting on your homework, go ahead and get started. Just starting something automatically involves you in that project. You're now invested in something else in your life, and it gives you a much better chance that you'll actually be able to finish it because you started it. Simply starting something is very important, and I've seen this so often that people talk and they go all in detail about some great business idea they have, or some amazing trip they want to plan, or this great party they're going to throw. But guess what? It never happens. It never happens because they never started. Just start. No matter what it is, just start. Just put something out there. I'm a very huge believer in The Lean Startup by Eric Ries, if you guys have ever read that book. So I tend to take a very lean approach towards business and to life in general as well. If I want to do something, I do it now. Even my friends and acquaintances, they ask me, hey, man, we should get together and hang out sometime. My reply to that, yeah, sure. Are you free tomorrow at 5 p.m. to meet at Starbucks down the road on blah, blah, blah street? They're like, wow, I wasn't expecting that, man. But the reality is that if I don't meet that person tomorrow, it's probably not going to happen. And if I'm busy tomorrow, I'm just going to pick another day in the future and just make it happen. There's no need to kind of keep it hanging and hanging and hanging, rescheduling, because chances are it's just not going to happen. It's not a priority if you're having to reschedule so much. So I encourage you to start now. Like whatever idea you might have, just put something out there. Just get it on a piece of paper and put it out there. Take a very lean approach towards it. You don't have to just necessarily apply this to business, but even to life and different things that you're trying to accomplish in your life. If it's like one of my projects, which I just start very soon, was that I wanted to raise homing pigeons. And for a while, and I've been putting this project off, thinking, it's going to be, I don't know, like how to start this thing. Like, I don't know what a pigeon loft looks like. I'm not sure how to build it. I don't know who can build one for me. Do I buy it? Do I build it? Do I have someone make it for me? Or do I make it myself? And because of all these complexities, I pretty much just left it alone. And I still, 3 months later, don't have my pigeon loft anymore, still. And I don't have my pigeons either. So that's a project that I can get started on, because if I put it off, I can put it off forever. There's never going to be a better time. The question is always going to be the same. If not now, then when? When is the best time to start something? Is it today? Is it tomorrow? Is it next week? The best time is always going to be right now. So go ahead and plan it. Go ahead and book it. Make it happen. Try to live in the present, because ultimately, if you think about it, the past and future don't really exist. You can only live in the present. And so it's just very unusual why, knowing that we can only live in the present, we still tend to put off living. We still tend to ignore the present. And we're so focused on the past and the future. Yet the perfect time to enjoy and get meaning out of life is always going to be right now. It's going to be today. So my encouragement to you guys is going to be to focus and to enjoy the moment, to enjoy and start it today. Get it going, get it off the ground. The next part of my talk is going to be related to slowing life down. And what I mean by that is that a lot of us, especially people my age that are technology people, we have this tendency to like breeze through life. We have this tendency to constantly be working or focus on one particular aspect of things and just kind of go through the motions of things. And I hinted this earlier too. This is tea, by the way. Tea is pretty good for you. Sometimes. I hinted at this earlier too, is that technology makes us isolate ourselves from other people. Like it's just so easy to have interactions on this like cell phone or smartphones and things like that, right? You can just talk to a lot of people, just add a lot of people. You can have very shallow conversations back and forth. You don't really need to meet them. Like if you're dating somebody, I mean, why go out, drive miles out of your way to meet someone when you can just sit at home and text them from your couch while you're watching Netflix? There's no need for, we tend to have this idea that we don't need to communicate in person. We don't need to meet up in person because we can just do it over text message. But that's not really a good way to communicate. You should leverage technology. I am a believer in technology. I think technology does make our life easier in some ways, but not if you misuse it. A technology device can never be a replacement for a human interaction. Being face to face with someone, seeing their facial expressions, getting to touch someone and have that like personal connection with somebody, shaking their hand. You could never do that if you hide behind a screen. Does technology help us? Sure. I'm using it right now. I'm leveraging it to get my message out there, right? I'm reaching, hundreds of thousands of people just with this like webcam and this thing, featured on Facebook called Facebook Live. And soon I'm going to be doing YouTube live videos as well. And, there's nothing wrong with that. I think we should do that. But that doesn't mean that we should rely on that as our only form of communication. And we tend to become over-dependent on technology, and we tend to isolate. We don't go out to things. We don't really go out to meet people. It's so easy to meet people on Tinder and Facebook and Match and eHarmony and all sorts of places today. And it's easy to maintain these digital communications and relationships, but there can never be a replacement for a human relationship. If you really want to strike a deal with somebody, don't just try to do it over Facebook chat. Call them, get on a Skype chat like that, like a video chat, connect with that person face to face, let them see you. Don't be camera shy. And if they're local and if it's possible, go out there and meet them. Go outside, like take a trip, travel, meet people. You're never going to regret it. I encourage my friends that are in the business world that are just so focused, like people in the San Francisco Bay Area. I went there a few times, and I used to live in LA, so I've seen this firsthand. Are just so focused on the business side of things, just like every day, hustle, grind. I get it. You're hustling every day, you're grinding every day, but ultimately, why are you doing it? What's the purpose behind it? Is this truly what you're passionate about? If you didn't make a single dollar from what you're doing, would you still do that? Or would you rather be fishing? Would you rather be taking a trip with your family somewhere? Would you rather be sitting outside on a Friday night in a coffee house, laughing and enjoying the evening with two of your best friends? You have to think about it that way. And if you're unable to do that, then you have to ask yourself, why am I doing these things? Why am I doing what I'm doing? What's ultimately my goal? What am I going to ultimately achieve from all this? What's my purpose here? And if you can't come up with a purpose for why you're doing what you're doing, you should question your behaviors. You should question your hustle. You should question your grind and things like that. And, I'm all for hustling. I mean, I hustle really hard. I work really hard. I work, 7 days of the week, honestly. And, it's 60, 70 plus hours sometimes in weeks. But I balance it out. I spend plenty of time. I share my personal life. You guys can clearly see I don't just post business stuff. I share everything about me. I play basketball. I enjoy doing things outdoors and hanging out with friends and things like that. And I'm very open about that I have a very well-balanced life. I moved back from Los Angeles, and there's some good reasons for that. It's not because that LA was too expensive. It's not because that I didn't see my potential there. I had plenty of potential. I did do extremely well out there. But I moved back because I wanted balance in my life. And when you start to find that balance, you may not achieve fame. You may not cure cancer. You may not build the next great app that changes and revolutionizes humanity. But you might find inner peace, You might find a deeper understanding within yourself. And by no means am I saying it's a bad idea for you to go out there and try to cure cancer or to find the next big app or social network that revolutionizes human behavior or culture or how we solve problems or find information or connect with each other or explore outer space. By all means, do that, but not at the cost of your inner peace and satisfaction and joy that we can all gain from just enjoying our moments. It's unfortunate because the thing is that most of us are not going to cure cancer. Most of us aren't going to find a way to get on Mars, and we're not going to build the next big Facebook. But sadly, many of us are going to try and be very, very frustrated and ultimately achieve nothing. That's what I am trying to encourage that we don't do, is that we don't try so hard at something that we're frustrated by it, and that our life does not just revolve around just that particular thing. Balance it out. Learn to enjoy life. Learn to take a break. Take a Saturday off. Go do something fun. Slow down each moment. Enjoy each moment. Don't be so focused on the future. Don't be so focused on the past either. Just enjoy the moment as it is. And if you want to do something, the best time to do it is right now. Just plan it. Just go ahead and do it. Try it. Can't hurt. It can't hurt because ultimately in the end, I think Mark Twain said this, that 20 years from now, you'll be more disappointed by the things that you didn't do than by the things that you did. So throw away the bowlines, sail away from the safe harbor, catch the trade winds in your sails, explore, dream, and discover. And that's the message that I wanted to leave you guys with, is go explore, go dream, and go discover things. And, you know, find something within yourself that you didn't notice before. If you walk outside and you're not looking at the rose garden, you're not noticing the butterflies flying around, and you're not noticing a beautiful sun and trees and birds, what are you doing with your life? You have to ask yourself, is that looking at computer screens all day and these technology gadgets and seeing, you know, dollar signs changing and numbers changing all day, every single day? Is that ultimately your purpose in life? Is that ultimately what you're looking to achieve out of this life? Thank you, guys.